Please pray with me. May these words that I speak be grounded in my soul, encouraged by the God presence in me. And may these words that you hear be captured by your soul, enlivened by the God presence in you. Amen. I wonder what it is you hope for. I wonder what it is we hope for as we enter again this Advent season. Surely lighting a candle of hope is more than just maintaining a long-standing tradition. For other than the sentimentality of the gesture, what is the value if there is not something more profound at work? I love this quote here from Aristotle, that real hope is the dream of the soul awake. It is a hope that resides not just in our minds as a nice thought, but deep, deep in our hearts as a yearning. It is a hope that is bigger than us, a hope that may be for something beyond achieving in our lifetime, and yet a hope worth believing in, worth pursuing, regardless of the outcome. And so I wonder, what is it you hope for? What is it we hope for as once again we enter this Advent season? This season of waiting for a light in the darkness of our lives and of our world. For me personally, this kind of hope is rooted in love. Are you surprised? But in no way is this mere sentimentality or even wishful rose-colored glasses dreaming or some way to ignore the painful reality of violence and suffering in our world. No, my deep hope is grounded in a reality that despite what we hear, despite what you know, humanity is more compassionate in 2017 than it has ever been in history. That is a truth. My hope is grounded in the belief that there is infinite room for love to manifest and grow. My deep hope is forged in my soul's dream of a world where love reigns, where compassion takes precedent over power, and where every soul and every being is honored. This kind of hope is only possible when we are able to see that there is a spirit at work in the world, in fact, in the entire universe, that is bigger than us, and yet works in us and through us. This is the spirit that Isaiah hungers for when he cries out, "Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down." But guess what, folks? That God has always been here among us and within us. It is us who placed God up in those heavens. A God to praise when things go well, a God to fear or curse when things go badly. It is us who have become complacent or have stopped believing altogether because of the way we choose to understand this God. And so it is, it seems to me, that it is us who must rend the heavens so that we may see and know that the God presence, the spirit of infinite and eternal love, is already at work everywhere we turn, with us or without us. It is also a call to risk stepping fully into this life that we have been given. Like the dandelion seed in the story this morning, to stop clinging to false certainty and allow ourselves to fully experience the fullness of life before us. Teilhard de Chardin, a French philosopher, paleontologist, geologist, and Jesuit priest. Now, how's that for a combination? He said, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience." It seems to me that, like the Hebrew people in Isaiah's time, the majority of people today have given up on God. But without some way of attending to our inherent spiritual nature, we lose our sense of life's meaning and purpose. We lose our souls, and we find ourselves drifting through life. Just drifting. Thomas Moore, author of a best-selling book called Care of the Soul, many years ago, which many of you have probably read, has a new book out called A Religion of One's Own. And he says in there, bereft of any deep spiritual imagination, we don't know how to deal with the challenges of life. We see evidence of this in our politics and our economics, and woven into the very fabric of our cultures and religions, creating division after division, and accepting that some human lives have more value than others. How could that possibly be? I believe that it is only by awakening our individual and our collective souls that we can change our worldview and ultimately save ourselves and this beautiful planet. Thomas Moore describes soul, that which makes us spiritual beings first before human beings. He describes it this way. I love this. Soul is the invisible, mysterious, and softly radiant element that infuses your being and makes you human. Like plasma in your veins, it gives you a sense of meaning, feeling, connection, and depth. If you have soul, you have a visible glow and are alive and present. When people encounter you, they see a real person. He continues, without soul, we and the world are dead. Without soul, there is no substance and value, no possibility for love and care, no heart, and no real power or tenderness. Without soul, we live shallow and metallic lives, not really touching each other and not engaged in the world. Thursday evening at the Kelowna airport, I witnessed soul. A group of us welcomed another Syrian refugee and us into our country and our community. Even though we had never met, there was a radiance in those gathered. I could see it. I saw it in Anas as he warmly hugged each of us many times. I saw it in those around me who were so glad to welcome him, so touched by his presence. I felt it deep, deep in my being. I witnessed the soul-deep love that was present in that place. And for a time, the sterile airport terminal all but vanished in Spirit's presence. It was truly powerful. Advent is intended to awaken our souls to love, to the deeper meaning and purpose of our lives. Christmas happens every time a soul awakens to love and kindles hope, becomes peace, and seeks justice. Christmas happens not on December 25th, but every single time we become imitators of Jesus. One whose soul was so awake that he caused many in his lifetime and millions since to awaken to their own soul to love's power. All we have to do to join this universal community of love is to rend the heavens and open to the spiritual beings that we already are. I want to end with this beautiful poem by Emily Dickinson. It goes like this. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chilliest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. And so I wonder, what is it you hope for? What is it we hope for as we enter again this Advent season? May this season be a reminder of our responsibility to awaken our souls, and may real hope be ours.